Hey guys, welcome back to the show, man. Thank you everyone for hanging out right now, man. It's gonna be a special day on this Sunday. We're gonna have a great panel with us today, guys. Thank you all in the chat for hanging out with us right now. I'm your boy Rod. Thank you so much for hanging out. And if you guys been living under a rock, there's something wrong with you, man, because there's a book out there that you should be reading. If you haven't, that's something wrong with you, man. But we're gonna bring in the panel right now. The panel is fire, flat out fire, man. The guys are been putting out the work, coming straight out of IDW Publishing. We're gonna have right now the creative team behind this masterpiece book that's called Canto. Holy coconuts, guys. It's an honor to bring these guys onto the show. Let's hang out, man. Let's hang out. They've been doing a lot of interviews lately, man. I just want to hang out with these guys. And let's just talk, and we'll take it from there, man. No more interviews. Let's do a hangout, man. We're hanging out right now. None other than these two fine gentlemen, the finest in IDW Publishing, man. We got Mr. David and Booher in the house, and we're bringing in his buddy Drew Zucker in the house, man. Boom.
Hey, Rod.
Hey, Rod.
What is going on? How you guys are doing, man?
Hanging in there. How are you?
Man, let me tell you, I've been nervous all day, and I said I'm gonna relax and hang out with these guys because these guys have been so busy. I mean, what you guys have been doing is taking the world by storm, and we're gonna get to that in a few minutes. But I'm more relaxed now, man. We're live. We're doing this. And I'm happy to have you guys. It's an honor. It's an honor. I'm okay. It's an honor to have you guys right now.
Rod, you gotta hit the pavement. You gotta sling comic books. That's all you can do, right?
That's it.
Yes, sir. Man, if you guys do not know, we got Mr. The creator, writer, the whole 9 yards. We got the artist in the bottom, man. We got Mr. David and Booher in the house. We got Drew Zucker. I have all their information in the description below, guys. You want to follow these guys? I got all their social media links in the description below. If I'm missing one, let me know. But thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out right now.
And thanks for having us.
Man, the honor is mine to bring you guys on the show. Quick shout out to Rich Duray. He was the one that sent out the email. He was like, yo, man, you got to hang out with Rod. I was like, holy crap. I got that email. I was like, that's from Rich? I was like blown away. And I was like, all right, let's do this. So
yeah, Rich is great. Rich is great.
We love Rich.
Yeah.
His two IDW books, Rotobones and Sea of Sorrows, both are just super successful, and they're terrific. They look beautiful. They read like great scary horror tales. And I mean, I always think of like EC, Tales from the Crypt, the 50s sort of pulpy horror, and he just nails it. So thanks, Rich, if you're out there.
Thanks, Rich, man, for hooking this up right now, man. But man, like I said, man, we're not gonna be doing the interview. We'll ask questions. We'll take questions from the community. But more importantly, man, let's hang out, man. Well, I'm gonna pick things off right now, man. Canto hit the world, boom, and this thing hit the comic book community and took it by storm, man. This book went off the rails. There it is, right there. And people were like, "Where's this Canto book? Where is this book? I want it." I'm lucky to have my copy. Guys, man.
Rod, we yelled at people for 3 months to pre-order that book. So if anybody complained about not getting a copy.
Yeah. we still kick and scream. And, you know, at some point people will listen to us.
But dude,
they
are.
Yeah.
It hit the world, man. It was like, do you guys expect that to happen, or it was like, where's this book at?
No, you hope it happens. Probably a little more for me than David. I've had that moment where you thought it was going to be your big breakout, and then it falls totally flat and you kind of go back to square one. So I, as much as I wanted to believe, as much as I believed in the book and in what we were doing, and I knew it was good, I always kind of tamper my expectations so that, God forbid, I end up back at that square one ever again, which, you know, I live in constant fear of, that you're that it doesn't totally break you, that you're able to kind of move on to the next thing and rebuild. So, you know, we're extremely fortunate that Canto hit the way it did, that it found the audience that it did. But it's definitely not something that we take for granted at all, because it's what this is exactly what we hoped for. And it was sort of a hope for the, you know, plan for the best, you know, hope for the best, plan for the worst sort of deal.
You never expect it, Rod. You never expect these things to happen. But we love the book. We loved the book before we published it, and I knew it was something that I would want to read if I saw it on the shelf, and the character I would love. So, yeah, like you said, we hoped for the best. We planned for, you know, the worst, but we were going to do it. We were going to do it no matter what. So I guess that shows you our confidence in the story, not necessarily the success of it, but the quality of it. Mm-hmm. And we're very thankful to be in the position that the success followed the quality, which is what we really hoped for.
And I have to say, it's been a fantastic read. Not just for adults. It's a family book. And I've told friends and family, Canto is just a great book to read. It has its moments. Actually, it has its downsides where you kind of sad when you read it, but it's such a good book. And I'm saying that because a bunch of people in the community agree with me. So I just had to throw that out there. But man, and then you guys did the one shot, and that was freaking fantastic. And more importantly, guys, we'll get to the big announcement, but guys just dropped, boom, and all a bunch of people picked that up.
Yeah, that did we're very happy for it. It did really well. I actually think it might have done a little bit better than even Canto 2's debut. So I think Canto 3 is going to hopefully exceed even City of Giants. So, we're so excited to see this trajectory going from, 6,000 copies of that Canto first printing of the first issue, and it just keeps climbing and climbing and climbing until we get to the end. And I'm hoping that we have, a core audience, tens of thousands of readers who just, if it's a Canto book and it's on the shelf, they just buy it. And I think that's what's happening now is we're getting a core group of readers that are really loyal, like you and, some of the other folks that we know on Instagram and Twitter that just are supporting this journey no matter what we do, what direction we take it. And that's such an incredible luxury for us that we can, have with it now, that we're not worried quite as much about building the core audience, the engine that's going to keep us going, keep us telling stories.
It keeps you from getting distracted with having to deal with social media as much, and instead we get to kind of just focus on making a really good book.
Yeah, for sure, man. And that's what it's all about. A good book, anyone can read it, man. When you read something like this, especially when it comes to indies, a lot of people in the community dig the indie books, man. Because it's an escape from what you see from Cape Crusaders and the whole 9 yards. But when you come across a book like Canto, what's this book? And then you pick it up and read it, and you can pass it on to a friend. Like I said, that has a family. It's a family book, and that's the cool thing about it. And that's what I love a lot about this book, man. So I applaud you guys for what you're doing, man. You guys are rocking it.
Sure. The family all ages aspect of it was something we really chose to do at the beginning. There's only certain disqualifiers that prevent kids from reading comics. You know, graphic violence, swearing, sex, all, you know, those things. If you don't put them in there, but you also don't have to pull your punches for kids. You can go a little dark with it. Things like Dark Crystal and Return to Oz and Labyrinth and Neverending Story all have darkness to them. So, I mean, Neverending Story is literally the villain is the nothing. And that kid, I don't know of anything more terrifying to a child than just being swallowed up by emptiness. So, you know, you can go dark with it. And that's what we decided to do. We were not going to sort of smooth things over because we were afraid kids were going to be scared of it. And I think parents like that. I think kids like that.
Retailers
that's why we
like
get a lot of we get a lot of families reading this and retailers on board recommending it to families.
And the artwork, I have to say, Drew, man, what you've been doing on this thing is art is just fantastic. Well, yeah. Who's that guy, Drew? Whatever.
It's whatever. It was all done in a weekend.
Serviceable. It's serviceable.
It's serviceable. There we go.
No,
that's
the
word you're looking for.
Just draws his tail off, and I tell him, you know, I threaten about ensuring that the drawing hand. I'm like, if you lose it, that's it.
That is not. I have heard that joke many times over the years that I should insure my hand.
So Dave, so when you reached out to Drew and be like, yo, how's the art coming along, man? Do you bust his balls and be like, yo, are you done with the art or what's going on here?
He knows better than to go there.
When it was fun
not
and
after
exciting
the current schedule.
Yeah, early on it was fun and exciting to sort of tease him about, you know, moving quickly. And now we're constantly on such a time crunch that, you know, it's just being enthusiastic about him getting pages done.
That I haven't died.
Yeah, I'm just very, very happy that I check in, make sure he hasn't died. The hand hasn't shriveled. He hasn't keeled over in his chair.
And which one of you guys are the first one, like to now see everything? We're relaxed in our comfort zone, man, and we're just talking. So who texts who will be like, yo, man, what you doing on the book? Are you on schedule, or, you know, which one of you guys are the first one to text? Yo, Evil Drew, what's going on, man? Where are you at right now, man? Are you finished writing or you finished drawing?
Oh, that's probably
again. Well, but again, we're both working. We have schedules, and we hit our deadlines. So it's not like we are talking to each other about where's this and what's going on. We might ping each other about dates and things that are coming up, but you know, we approach it as we both it's both a second job for us right now, and that's the way we approach it, as a second career. And so we know we have to hit the deadlines, and we know we have to produce good work. And luckily, we're able to balance that, and we're able to do that, you know, at the cost of a little sanity in the process. But we're doing it. So everybody listening out there, if you're waiting for those issues, you're going to get them. You're going to get them on time, and they'll be good.
It's amazing how you guys work this into your schedule. It's just like a bunch of people in the community that have their jobs and they want to do, you know, a YouTube show or whatever, the whole 9 yards. We applaud you guys, man, for doing what you're doing, especially to hang out with us, do your interviews and hang out. It's amazing because you can reach out to a lot of other people and they don't have time. But whenever you reach out to an indie person, man, you guys got so easy to talk to and just get back to us. Be like, I'm there. And with the snap of the fingers, like, I'm there, man. And
yeah, you gotta.
Thank you.
Without you guys, it's just me and David drawing pictures and writing stuff into the void. So we like to promote it. We like to hang out and talk to people about it. People are investing their time and money into the thing that we're both really passionate about, and we are, kind of eternally grateful for it.
Absolutely. Everything Drew said. We have to. This is part of it. It's part of the pact that we have with the audience. Is you keep reading, we'll keep giving stories, and we'll keep being, creators you want to support, and that means being available, and it means talking, and it means interacting with the fans as things go on, and hopefully Canto has a life, has a different, new, exciting life beyond comics. We still have to be there. We still have to be that way because, we're not where we are now without all the folks like you, Rod, and like everybody who's listening or watching this. So we have to. So it's a priority for us to always fit that in, fit these conversations in.
Yeah,
because they're fun too. It's a fun break between working on the script this morning and this afternoon. Drew's, I'm sure, drawing this morning, drawing this afternoon.
I was on like a 6-7 hour tear there, so this is my break.
There you go.
Man, that is nuts, man. A lot of people in the community been wondering, man, big announcement, guys. Drew and Dave, man. You don't mind me calling you David?
Sure.
And big announcement dropped back in March. And everything just went boom. And I don't even know where to start. And when it comes to Canto and an animated feature movie, man, this show, it could go either way, man. I could think a show.
Well, it's gonna
be a movie.
Yeah, it's gonna be a movie. It's gonna be a movie. So that's where the first step will be, and who knows what'll happen. But yeah, so our we have partnered up with Westbrook Studios, which is Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith's sort of their studio branch of their larger company of Westbrook. And they're fantastic. They're as enthusiastic about telling the story as we are. They're very supportive and protective of our creative vision on taking it to the next step. Mm-hmm. And so we're very involved in the process. I'm going to be actually writing the script, the screenplay. Drew and I are executive producing. Drew's going to oversee the character design and the artwork. And, hopefully we pair up with an animation studio that really understands the core of the story about the heart to it, the hope that's in the story, the essence of who Canto is as a character. And I really think, one, it's going to happen, and two, it's going to happen in the way that everybody hopes it does, because we're going to be involved in the process.
That's so cool, man. I think the community is going to freak out when this thing drops, man. And I can see probably maybe trilogy, or if you read the books, community, you could go plenty ways with the movie. You know what I'm saying? I can see, like, here it is, the first one, and then a little cliffhanger, like, whoa, wait a minute, man. So then you guys are probably gonna just hit us with a whole run with more stuff. But man, the community has been like talking about this thing for a while, man. So we're stoked.
Every comment, social media comment about making Canto Funko Pops, making merch, making it a movie, making it a TV show. Hey, Netflix, what's going on? Every single one of those social media comments helps us, to the next step. So, everybody commenting on it for a year and a half. We can't wait to see it as a movie, or as a TV show. It helps. Buying the book helps. It helps it all. So we appreciate that.
There's some questions from the chat, if you don't mind, guys.
Sure.
let's see what they got, man. Let's see. I want to scroll back up. And thank you, everyone in the community hanging out with us right now. More importantly, hanging out with Mr. Dave, Mr. Drew in the house, man. Let's see some of the questions we got coming in the chat right now. Here's the question we got here from Everything Comics. How close are you guys to be able to do comics on your sole and primary job, or is that even your plan?
We just need one person to buy, 50,000 people to buy one comic, or one person to buy 50,000 comics. We're done.
I actually don't know where you're at with that, David.
The tens of dollars that come in from comics is just really spectacular. You make career goals, right? You set benchmarks for yourself, and then you work to achieve them. And I haven't put a hard timeline on it, but I would not be surprised. Well, we're working very hard behind the scenes, and if a transition happens, very excited about that. If it doesn't happen, then we will continue to do the quality work we are doing, but fitting it into our schedules, because I like eating. I like eating. So
I don't want to eat anymore. I want to leave my job.
There you go.
I'm still probably a little ways off from it. I have a really good idea of how I did last year, and every year gets kind of concurrently better, but it's never been anywhere near what I could do to comfortably leave a job that pays me consistently and that is basically recession and depression proof. But I would love for comics to be my primary thing I do, especially with how much work is involved in it. It's nice because you get to build for yourself rather than work for as a cog in the machine of something else.
Hey, I had someone tell me the other day, "Yeah, you should just get into comics. Just quit your day job." I'm not doing this. There's no way I can do that. It's impossible.
I had somebody ask me to talk to a friend of theirs recently about, this person I know wants to get into comics. Can you talk to them? I was like, all right, yeah, sure. And I realized that this is like what you want me to do is compress 11 years of just pounding the pavement into a 1 hour maybe conversation. That doesn't include the seemingly ungodly amount of topic knowledge, production knowledge, storytelling knowledge, all the subconscious stuff that's in my head. It's not a thing that you just walk into. It appears to be easy to do, but it's not. It isn't. It's a lot of hard work.
Yeah, and I spent years going to cons and networking and meeting people before I even started comics, and I think that's what people who start out, creators who start out, want to make their first comic. I think a lot of that is lost.
Yep.
They don't realize that you can make a comic, but until you have had conversations with editors at cons, if you've been fans of the work that they're doing at different publishers. When we started pitching Canto, I never wanted to throw it into the abyss, the submissions process to these publishers, and just have it, just disappear into the darkness and just never see it again. I always wanted to have a particular person of contact at every publisher who I could send an email and say, hey, we're kind of ready for this. Here's the idea. Love to send you the pitch. And I had contacts at the different publishers we went to be able to submit it. And I think people creators who are pitching their books don't realize that you already have a leg up if you have the name of somebody who you know and a direct email address that you can just ping them. Now, of course, don't be annoying, and don't go out of the blue. Don't like find their email on the internet and then send it that way. But if you have a pre-existing relationship, even if it's a conversation at San Diego Comic-Con 2 years ago, reference that. Say, hey, really liked I really love chatting about Power Rangers or Walking Dead at Skybound. I really enjoyed chatting about that with you at San Diego 2 years ago. So I put together something that kind of is in the horror wheelhouse, and I would love if there's a possibility that you'd take a look at the pitch and see if there's an opportunity there. And it's that sort of being a cool person to talk to and not being pushy about it, but with a pretty relationship that will make you successful. They want to see you succeed. This may not be the right fit for them, but you get something that is the right fit somewhere like Canto, and then you get an opportunity where editors will come to you and say, we want to work with you. Start pitching us ideas. Your first 2, your first 5, your first 10 ideas may not be a right fit, but the door's open. So as soon as you come up with that right idea, let's make the book. And it's the best feeling in the world to have that relationship with editors where they trust your work and they trust being able to work with you for a long period of time because you're a good person to work with. And that's what you're building towards, whether it's one success or multiple successes, or if you have one book or whatever, that's what you want to do. So I'll get down off my soapbox now.
I'm here just absorbing it all in. I mean, how was that for you guys, man, to be like, boom, it's happening? How was that?
We had a contact and we still ended up in the abyss.
I tell this story. I love this story at IDW. Our good friends,
we still ended up in the wood chipper.
The wood chipper is what I call it. No, it's just tongue in cheek. They don't have a wood chipper, I promise. And if anybody posts that they do, I will be mad.
We've been to the office.
No wood chipper.
It's a euphemism. Our close buddy, Ben Bishop, who's drawing TMNT Last Ronin right now, is just great. He's great. And he has a close relationship with IDW for a long time. And we said, when we were working on Canto, we kind of want to get in there. And he said, oh, let me send you to my editor. And so I got the editor's name. I didn't have a personal relationship, but I had a personal connection through Ben. I sent the email. I'm like, great. We're going to be able to bypass the process. We got an editor. It's going to go through. Whether they take it or reject it, but at least there'll be attention. And he emails me back and he says, great, I'll send it to the submissions committee. I'll get back to you. And I was like, darn gosh. And then I just pictured it, submissions committee. It's like the wood chipper with the word submission committee on it, just throwing projects into one side and spit out the other. So luckily it came out the other way intact. So very appreciative of IDW and the editor over there, Bobby, for giving us the opportunity to even submit.
Yeah.
That is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Let's see here. There's more questions just in the chat, man. Guys, man, thank you all for hanging out with us in the chat right now. We're hanging out with the finest gentlemen in IDW, man. There they are right there. We got and Booher in the house. We got Drew Zucker. Fantastic artwork in Canto. There are links in the description below. Follow them right now. I got people in the chat dropping links to your social media. So thank you so much for doing that. We got, let's see here. If I don't bring her up, she's going to be mad at me because she claims she's like the biggest Canto fan. Let's see what Lala has to say.
Oh, if it's Lala, yes, she is. Lala's the only person with more Canto comics than me and David.
Right.
There it is, guys. Are we ever going to see Canto's love again? I mean, is anyone really dead in comics?
There you
go, Lala.
Lala is asking that question. She knows we're not going to spoil it. It's funny. Are we ever going to see Canto's love again? I mean, is everyone ever really dead in comics?
In indie comics, they are.
I am not going to share any information. I apologize to everybody, but I want to keep it a surprise. We did have a philosophy that we want not to have a situation where we're bringing tons of characters back. We wanted to sort of reflect real world where death is permanent. So we didn't want to have that sort of deception for the readers. Well, but there is. I'll just let readers read issue number 1 of Canto 3, Lionhearted, and there's a little tiny bit of a teaser in there that might project where we see the story going ultimately.
Hey, great reply to a lot of stuff. What you got?
You don't want it ruined. Trust me, it's pretty good.
I mean, we know where it's going to end.
Yeah.
So,
we've got the roadmap.
It's a good ending too. I think it's good. I've known since the first issue, since we did the first arc, where exactly it's going to end and how it's going to play out in that last sequence. And I think it's worthy of the series. I do. I really do.
So you guys already knew since day one where it was going to end?
We always had, like, from volume 1 on, we had a rough idea of where we were going. Like, we knew the broad strokes of it. As we've gotten further along, especially once we knew we were good to go, through City of Giants, Lionhearted, and volume 4, that's when the details kind of started to fall into place on it. And now that the details are in place, it's like, okay, this is, it's really exciting.
I mean, the fact that we got to even tell the story beyond the first arc is incredible. I mean, we ended the first arc in a place where we were mildly satisfied if we didn't. I mean, we'd be disappointed, of course, but it was a good ending if it just stayed as it was. But with the success and the readers coming on board and reading it, we've gotten to not only tell the one shot with Clockwork Fairies and then Canto 2, the Hollow Men, but then go back to IDW and say, I mean, we're doing as well as Transformers, G.I. Joe, TMNT is much better than
its own
Canto,
monster.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is Canto is right there in the mix for IDW. So when we went to them and said, here's our vision to finish this larger story with, City of Giants with 3 issues, Canto 3, Lionhearted with 6 issues, and then Canto 4, A Place Like Home with 6 issues. We set that all roadmap out for the next 2 years to IDW and said, we'd like to do this. And IDW came back to us and said, in basically the same words, they said, well, we'd like to do it too. And so they renewed us and said, we're going to do it. So the idea that we've gotten renewed, we've talked to John Barb over at IDW, and he said they'd never really done that before, but here we are with the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
And again, it all comes back to the readers, like Laura, Lala, who is just the constant cheerleader, and everybody else who posts all the time about Canto and recommends it to their friends and their friends' kids, and just the word of mouth has. We're not a flashy duo. We're not a flashy story.
I'm flashy.
We're just Drew's flashy. But we're not Batman or Spider-Man or these image books that just come out and it's like boom, 50,000 copies and it's just like out of the gate. We are just we Canto lives by reader buzz and reader support. And so, again, as long as we can keep that going, we will keep telling Canto's story.
Yeah. And just to add to that, sorry.
Go ahead, Drew. Go ahead, bro.
Like just to add to that, I mean, there's so many books that they end up kind of like they get through their first couple of issues and then they just kind of settle into, the normal routine of coming out, and they've got their readership, but then they get to the end, and that doesn't make them bad books. East of West was kind of like that, and I point to that as like one of the modern classics in comics right now. But the series kind of ended with very little fanfare. We're very fortunate that we have readership that keeps pounding the pavement on this thing. So we're now going into what's City of Giants. I think the 13th issue technically of the book, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
and
13.
It continues to just grow, and that's not necessarily because of David and I. That's because of the fan base and the readership. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's all you.
I'm kidding. Everybody's listening.
It's because you have the energy for it. I'm busy taking a nap.
Oh,
Shots fired, man. Shots fired. David taking shots at Drew, man.
I can't have you basking in the glory of success because I need you to be drawing pages.
Drew, go do some drawing right now, man. Just get out of here, man.
But that is why we brought on.
There's a pile right next to me that needs to be dealt with.
So that's the reason we brought Sebastian on for City of Giants. We love his art, and we both knew he would do a great job with it, and he's been terrific. It was an opportunity for us to give Drew some time to really prepare for Canto 3 Lionhearted with 6 issues to keep going with that main story. I think City of Giants probably was conceived as a one-shot once upon a time, just sort of a bridge like Clockwork Fairies. And as we've been more successful, I think we were able to break it out into 3 and hopefully have a trade that just collects those 3 with maybe a little bit of extra back matter on it, some special features, but have that as be a separate standalone trade after it's all over.
Yeah, man. If you guys, I'm not going to take out the bag here, and if you guys had not seen some of the artwork, this thing, here we go, Drew. This issue was fantastic. Just the bugs on the Giants was hilarious. I thought it was one of the best things I've seen in this book. And then Canto.
Sebastian's idea. I'm kind of a little bit sinister in these scripts sometimes, where I know what the double page spread's supposed to look like. Like I know what it's in my head, and I know what part of the story it's supposed to convey. But a lot of times I'll send it to Drew, and I did that with Sebastian too. And I said, I kind of have an idea of the layout, and here's some ideas for it, but it's all up to you, dude. It's all up to you. And Sebastian came back, and he actually had the idea of doing those inset panels that are like action snapshots of movement overlaid on the background image of the 2 giants' heads. And I think Drew and I were both, okay, that sounds cool, but let's see how it works. And then he laid it out and he drew it. And it's like, okay, great. It works so well. And there's I always look at this
I was
page.
pretty grateful to get to skip out on that one.
That was a tough spread. But I don't pull punches with you either, Drew. So.
Oh no! Well, when your editor writes back after reading a script, David, this is great. Drew, good luck.
Wow.
Like, oh,
shots
thanks,
fired. As you said, Rod, shots fired.
Good Lord.
There is a full page spread in City of Giants #2 that I loved when it was in the script. I loved the moment. But then Sebastian drew it, and I just thought, everybody's already losing their minds, and they haven't even seen it yet. The dogs, everybody are losing their minds. when we got it back, when the art got it back, I just thought, what a moment for these characters. Do you know which one I'm talking about, Drew?
I think so. Issue 2, I think, is the one that I kind of like. I've looked at it really fast, but I haven't had the chance to like dig into it too far.
It's great. I just love this moment. So anybody who hasn't pre-ordered issue number 2, the final order cutoff is tomorrow. So we'd like to keep our pre-orders as close to issue 1 as possible, even though we all know that they fall off a little bit on issue 2. But I promise you will not be disappointed. It's a lot more fun, and it's a lot more fun. It's as much fun as the first issue, and it has as much heart in it as we've always had.
So looking forward to it, man. Guys, a question, man. This is a question coming from Fun and Art, man. Let's see what we got here. Was Canto inspired in any way by the animated movie 9, which was a great movie?
We've heard
for legal reasons, let's say no.
Okay, all right.
We've gotten a lot of people reference 9. I think for me, I think it's more about the feel, like the tone. Because if you watch 9, I rewatched it recently, and it's so dark. It's so dark, and it's very scary. Yes. And there's some hope there, but it's something you really have to search for. Looking back, sure, does it live in the same universe? Maybe. And I can see why people would make the association with 9, but we're really intending to make a story that's got some darkness to it, but is really centered around hope beyond anything else, and not putting together monsters that are just gonna haunt your nightmares.
Sure, man. Sure. I had some questions from Instagram, and let's see here. Lala, I already dropped your question there, man. Let's see here. Let me see here. How long do you see Canto's journey going? That comes from John Comics Hits.
We know John.
Oh, you know that guy? Oh,
yeah. He's great.
No, he's not. He's just all right.
I mean, I will forewarn every reader right now that we're going to finish Canto 4 and in 2022, and then that's basically been probably 3.5 years of Drew drawing Canto. I can write faster than Drew can draw, so which, I mean, that's just the reality. I think writers can write faster.
That's just reality. I don't argue with it.
I mean, we can. There you go, John. Just in time. But that's just the reality of all of comics. Is I can crank out multiple scripts in the time that Drew can draw one. And that's not a slight on Drew. That's every artist. You can only go so fast drawing pages. So we are going to go through Canto 4, and then we're going to assess at that point. Where we're going to go. There are more stories, and I have an idea of what we could do if we want to break out and start a like Canto ongoing. I have a greater adventure that he can go on, but we're going to have to assess that, and give Drew in particular some breathing space to finally let him bask in the success from 2019. It's all on hold, people. It's all on hold until he's done drawing all of Canto, and then finally he can enjoy this ride.
David took all of my passwords to social media, so I can't enjoy any of it until I'm done.
Nope. No family, no friends.
I'm gonna end up divorced by the end of it.
That's a cool comment.
The other end of
kindest people I have met in common. Amazing people who deserve all the success, man. Well said, John.
Thank you, John.
Well said.
The other end of Canto running is that, you know, like David said, it will have been 3.5 years of drawing nothing but Canto. And don't get me wrong, I love drawing Canto. I really do. I posted this on the socials a little while ago. I've done 200 plus pages of this book, and I still genuinely enjoy drawing it. It is fun. It is not by accident that pages can take me up to 15 hours to do, because I like what I do and I like what I get to draw. That being said, I miss other genres. I'd like to go back to horror for a little bit. I'd like to go and do other projects that David and I have talked about beyond Canto. Is it a world that I think I'd want to come back to eventually? Most likely. But having a break and getting out there and doing some other stuff for a little bit is never a bad thing either.
Yeah, for sure, man. Sometimes you want to just step back, try something different, or
right. Plus, I've learned a lot drawing Canto. I have the last book I did before Canto was The House, and if I go back and look at that book, the amount of knowledge I have and just it kind of it's crazy.
I'm kidding, everybody. The House is fantastic, and he just puts himself down constantly, and I think the visuals are fantastic. That's why I came to him. But go ahead, Drew. You can
bash myself more.
Yeah, you can bash yourself more. It's fine.
No, it's just I have other stuff I want to reach back out to for sure. I have other projects with friends that were kind of placed on the back burner because of Canto's success and the need to put that as the priority. But I love doing this book. I mean, it is a genuine pleasure to get to draw this book, and we're working for free too, and it's still that enjoyable.
Well, yeah, we don't get page rates, but we get to see the rewards on the back end. We'll just put it that way. Those tens of dollars retirement money that we were talking about.
Indie comics.
Every quarter, Drew and I get to go get tacos.
Don't knock it. I love Taco Tuesday.
I know, me too.
Hey, I love some tacos too, man. That is an honor to have you guys, man. We're hanging out, man. It's a hangout, man. Hanging out with Mr. David, Mr. Drew in the house, man, from IDW, man. Talking Canto, the whole 9 yards of Canto. And it's gonna be epic when the big movie drops, man. People are just so excited for it. I tell my wife does not read comics. I'm like, babe, you gotta read Canto. It's a family book. I try to go at the soft way. She goes,
now. Yeah. Now that the movie's coming out, she's definitely not going to read it.
No, I guarantee you, she's going to watch it and be like,
she'll watch the movie.
Told me about this before, and I'm going to be like,
you're just going to
really?
hold up the tray, and just not say a word.
I'm just going to be like this.
Slowly.
It's been here the whole time, babe. Really, it's been there the whole time.
The nice part about all that is we're so far kind of ahead on everything as far as anything movie goes that it has no real bearing on what we're doing with the story. So we're still kind of left to our own devices on the story we want to tell. And Westbrook obviously has their ideas, and we're working closely with them, and they want to honor what we're doing. But it's nice that we get to kind of keep doing our own thing that we've found has worked out for us.
Plus, I get to write the script, so
yeah, there's that.
I know what's happening.
David knows a thing or two.
And your writing is fantastic, man. A lot of people talk about the art. Man, your writing is so freaking good, man. And
thanks.
The A lot of
I think
people
I think a huge part of writing good comics is sometimes just getting out of the way of the art. And so I let, it's an opportunity to tell a story. And, sometimes I've noticed I don't, I get urging of editors. Sometimes they're like, you can write more dialogue. You can put more words in there. And it never really occurs to me. It's like, you watch a movie and sometimes there's not dialogue in parts, and the visuals tell the story. And, knowing when to get out of the way and let the artist convey the thought that you have as the writer is very important skill. And I'm thankful to be able to work with Drew, where I can give him full page spreads and double page spreads and give him my ideas on it and have no words on the page and still have it be exactly what I envision and telling the story, but doing it in a visual way.
Yeah, and it's just fantastic, man. You guys are like Spanish people. It's like rice and beans. But you guys are just it's just hey, I call it a hangout, man. It's not like an interview. We're hanging out.
We're rice and beans in a taco show.
It's like rice.
I know. I'm hungry,
together, man.
I'm getting hungry, guys.
Well, you're supposed to get hungry if you're hanging out with me, man. That's how we do the show, man. And wouldn't have it no other way, man. But man, I honestly, the artwork is fantastic. The writing is just off the charts, man. You guys are putting out a great product for us in the comic book community, and we're so honored to have you on the show. The chat is honored to hang out with you, dropping questions. I don't even know what else to say, man. We're just excited. You can tell how excited I am for this book and for what we look forward to the future. It's just I'm just pumped, man.
Thanks, Rod.
Looking forward to this for a long time, man.
Thanks for having us on, and to everybody out there who's listening or watching. We'll keep making Canto as long as you want to keep reading it. So if you want to keep reading, we'll keep making the quality that we're at now, and we're excited to do it. Well, I say that we would probably do it anyway. So buy the book, tell your friends, makes our lives a whole lot easier.
That was our plan. If it didn't get picked up, we were just gonna make the book anyways.
Yeah, we're very appreciative of everybody who has taken this journey, and we're not done yet. The order cutoff, Canto City of Giants #2 is tomorrow, Monday. We're live streaming, so it is Monday tomorrow. Make sure you pre-order it. Canto 3 is slated for July.
So May it should go up.
So by the end of next month, we should see by the end of April, we'll see the solicit.
End of April.
So keep an eye out for that. Drew has a freaking incredible cover for that issue #1. The continuing call to adventure, and I love it. So there's that, and follow us on the socials. You can find me on Twitter at David Booher, Instagram at davidmbooher. You can find Canto Comic. Everybody probably already knows this, but you can find Canto Comic on Twitter and Instagram. And Drew, they can find you.
I don't even know where I'm at. On Twitter,
I got all your descriptions.
Oh, you got them all down.
I got everything. It's on YouTube. Click the link, and I got everyone's description.
I don't even have to remember it anymore. Beautiful.
It's all there, and Comic Man Andy is helping us out, man. He's been dropping links left and right.
Thank you, Andy.
This guy, man, you know who he is.
Thanks,
he's kind of a big deal. He's kind of a big deal.
He is kind of a big deal.
He is the proud owner of a key piece of art now. So he bought a good one. He's hanging on to it.
Nice, man. Nice. Yo, I didn't want to keep you guys on, man. I like to keep it, within an hour, man. You guys have been fantastic. I don't want to take too much of your time. You gave us so much of your time, and man, this has been fantastic. bunch of more people still jumping on. Bunch of indie people, man. Entropy and Comics. I just gotta say hello. Wolf Warner. Well, you know who he is, man. Kevin Green. Wolf Warner from Brooklyn, a big indie guy. He loves his indie books, man.
Oh,
there
my.
it is. Canto is brilliant, man. You have no idea, guys, man. Indie books are dope, man. And I want to say one thing right now. One question, just one simple question. Mr. David, if you had to write one book from outside of indies or whatever, what book would that be? And then I got a question for you, Mr. Drew. What book would you like to write if you had the opportunity? What character would you like to write?
I can't. There is one. I'm sorry, I'm hesitating. I can't. I would love to say. I can't say.
We'll go to Drew and we come back to you. How about that?
The big two. No. There's something there's something. Hopefully, fingers crossed, in the works that it's a dream come true for me. So I don't want to name it, but if we're talking big two, I've always wanted to do a Nightcrawler story in the vein of like Mr. Miracle or Vision. I don't want it to be in continuity. I just want them to give me the ability to tell a story I want to tell about who Nightcrawler is and what his history is, and just kind of explore that character, but on my own terms, not necessarily in Marvel continuity. So,
all right, Mr. Drew. I'm sorry.
I already get to draw it. It's my own book. I get to work on Canto.
Now I look like trash.
Come on, man.
I look like trash.
If there's a character you ever wanted to draw in the comic book, what would it be, man? It's got to be something out there.
Honestly, I as much as I probably just slam my head into the desk doing it, I very much would like to get a hold of the Aliens franchise and course correct it from the last few decades.
Very cool.
You can do the prequel.
I could. So would that be Prometheus 2?
Oh, well, that was like there. I think if I remember correctly, there was a bit of time that passed between the end of Prometheus and the beginning of Alien. So, as in all of the Aliens evolution, but
no, I mean I like what James Stokes did, where he did Dead Orbit, where it's just its own thing. That's all. I personally am a big believer that franchise, the last thing you should be doing is digging around into lore or trying to expand the universe beyond what's in the movies sort of deal. Just like go do your own thing with it.
I mean, the bottom line is we will do whatever the editors tell us to do. Editors, if you're out there listening, good soldiers.
It's true.
I guess they call the shots, right, guys?
They do.
I will say, if real quick, if there's a book, and I actually never thought that I reached this point, but if there was a big two book that I think that me and him would do well on together, I actually think it would be Superman.
Who?
You and me.
Us?
Yeah. I've thought about this. You probably...
Superman?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know, Drew, man.
I would love to write Superman, but honestly, the vulnerability of creators taking on such an iconic character and the blowback and the wrath, because you're never gonna. I would probably do it, but it's just you have to be mentally prepared for that, because not everybody's gonna like everything that you do. And when you take on iconic characters, that risk is constantly there. So you have to balance that against the ability to do something like Canto, which is we are beholden to nobody but ourselves as far as telling the story. We get to create the lore that maybe 5-10 years from now, other creators are gonna might approach and might bring their own angle to, and then they would face the loyal Canto fans. So that's why I think Nightcrawler is something I
Mhm.
gravitate towards, because it's a great, interesting character. Plus, you don't have as much fan base that would be mad at you for doing something totally different.
He's under the radar too, you know. It's a character that is rarely that you
It's
hear.
like he's there,
Yeah,
and then he's like he's there, and then some, and then he's not.
That's a horrible joke.
I like it.
Come on.
Such a dad joke.
That's
It was a great
that's
joke.
me.
What are you talking about, man?
That's me. I'm dad joke central. So
Man, it's been an honor, man. I could keep on talking or hanging out with you guys, man. But like I said, I don't want to take too much of your time. I like to keep it, you know, especially 45 minutes, at least an hour. It's been fantastic. If you guys want to mention what you got going on, I'll give you. Here it is, man. This is your thing. Do it if you want to. If not, then we end the show. Mr. David Drew, let the people know.
a lot more Canto. I've got a new creator-owned series coming out in August. It's a little premature to talk about it. We're still in the composition stage, but it's slated for August, and then hopefully there's another one that's coming in around October. But again, we're a little early in that process. And then, on the film side, hopefully there's some things in the works. I hate to be super vague about it, but that's where we are.
Sweet.
And then in May, I have an announcement coming up. We're a little early to say what it is, but it is coming. So be on the lookout for that. And then, more Canto.
Boom. There it is.
And hopefully maybe we can have a con schedule announcement at some point at the back end of the year.
Time will tell, man. I know there's supposed to be a con going on in Orlando, and I want to go, but I'm still kind of, we'll figure it out.
A little dicey.
This is Florida. Everything is crazy in Florida, man.
Yeah.
I think
All
everyone's going to be waiting on October and see what New York looks like.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, everyone in the house, thank you for hanging out on the show right now. This was a fantastic day for myself, more importantly for the community, but it's an honor to bring in these fine gentlemen, man. We got Mr. David Booher in the house, Mr. Zucker in the house, man. Check out their links in the description below. Man, hopefully this won't be the first time. Well, hopefully this won't be the last time. That's what I'm trying to say, man. With that being said, I'm your boy Rod, and we out of here, guys. Stay right there. Peace.